Has a way of bringing us all together. Today I'm sharing the recipes that have become our favorite spring traditions, from our cheesecake pasca and Drob appetizer to a fresh lamb soup that tastes like the season. I even finally cracked the code on my favorite babka recipe, so grab something warm and let's get started. For the pasca, crack 3 eggs and mix them very well with a pinch of salt. Add 1 cup of sugar, then mix until it melts in the eggs. I add 500 grams of unsalted cow cheese, then give it a very good mix. Add about 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract and butter, followed by some sour cream. Mixing very well is the most important part. Traditionally, you would now add lots of raisins, but if you don't like them, either skip them or use some nuts instead. Finally, add some all-purpose flour. Another really good mix. Because we travel a lot, my kitchen equipment is limited, and this is how I managed to use a simple pan as my baking sheet. I make sure I get the parchment paper inside, covering the entire surface, including the walls. I kind of shape it by making a circle, then the walls of the pan, to make sure it sticks well. I spread butter all over it. My dough rose beautifully. I will leave a link for the recipe. It's my sweetbread dough recipe. I cut about half of it, then I set aside 2 small pieces of dough to give it a nice shape later. The dough will be at the bottom. I add it to the pan carefully. It even has walls on 2 sides, then I add the cheese mixture. Now you can leave it like that, or you can also shape it like me. I try to make a cross on it. I cover the dough with a bit of egg yolk, then bake it for about an hour at 320 Fahrenheit. The other half of the dough will become babka. I make sure I make a very long, thin layer, then I spread it with Nutella and cover it with some chopped hazelnuts. Roll it, then cut it in half carefully. I try to shape it a bit and bake it at 320 Fahrenheit for about 35 minutes. What I do to make sure it doesn't burn is that after 20 minutes, I cover it with parchment paper. The beauty of spring recipes is the herbs. I chop a lot of lavage, a lot of green onion, and a lot of cilantro. About 3 carrots into thin cubes, 2 red peppers, 1 big onion chopped finely, and half a celery root cut into small cubes. I chopped more dill and cilantro, and in the meantime, my babka was ready. In hot water, add about a pound of ground beef and let it boil. On a baking sheet, I add some pieces of lamb, season with salt and black pepper, drop in a lot of chopped garlic cloves and some red wine. Cover with aluminum foil and bake for about 1.5 hours at 400 Fahrenheit. As a nice activity to get the kids to eat the eggs better, I gave them some stickers so they could decorate their own boiled eggs. It worked out pretty well. In a bowl, I added the egg whites left over from my previous dough, but you can use 5 eggs instead. Beat them very well. In a pan, saute the pepper and the green onion for a couple of minutes. Add 2 cloves of minced garlic. On top of the eggs, add the ground beef, the dill and the cilantro, and then the sautéed green onion and red peppers. Give it a good mix. For seasoning, I add salt and paprika. Add it to a baking sheet and bake for about 45 minutes to an hour until there is no water left. My pasca baked beautifully. A part of the crust fell down into the dough while baking, so I just put it upside down. I let it cool down in the pan for a few hours before adding it to a plate. The bone part from the lamb leg, I add it to water and let it boil for about 1.5 hours until the meat is very tender. The eggs are very cute, as you can see. For the meat, I clean it from time to time. I sauté the white onion and the rest of the vegetables in a pan for about 7 minutes. When the meat is ready, I take it out and cut it into small pieces. I also baked some potatoes in butter. After cutting the meat, I strained the boiled water to make sure it was clean and had no bones inside. Add the meat back, add the sautéed vegetables too, and let them boil for 20 minutes until they are fully cooked. In a bowl, add 200 grams of sour cream followed by 2 egg yolks and give it a very good mix. We want to add it to the soup. I added the potatoes into a glass container to make some space in the kitchen. My drob is ready too. I'll let it cool down. For the soup, start by adding some of the broth into the egg mixture, just to make sure that the eggs don't curdle. Once they become warm, add the full mixture into the soup. Now it's time to add some of those herbs on top, the more the better honestly. Towards the end, add a bit of vinegar to make it slightly sour. Of course, adjust it based on your taste. My meat is ready and very tender. Lots of cooking for today, most of it disappeared in about 2 days, so I highly recommend trying these spring recipes. If you're struggling to eat healthy without spending many hours in the kitchen, I want to give you a free gift. I've spent many hours to break it down into a 30 recipe book for energy, recovery, and weight loss. Go to the description and grab it, it's absolutely